I'm going to be honest and say that I almost didn't make a video today at all. Yeah. I know. I almost called it. It's weird because the way that went down last night just took the gas out of me, just really bummed me out. It was a real momentum killer. But the only way, and I know it's a mood that's going to pass in 24 hours most likely. So the only way to not let that win is to at least make some sort of video. I apologize ahead of time. I'm probably not going to be in great spirits in this one, and I'm just thoroughly exhausted. I climbed up and down a stepladder all day today. I'm really feeling it, and I don't know about y'all, but my legs do this thing every once in a while. I'm not sure what it is, but I'll just show you guys, I guess. But anyway, they do this weird swelling thing, and you can usually tell by my sock line, but I know there's a name for it, but like I could just push on it and it'll stay that way, like a dip in it. I'm not sure what it even means, but I was concerned about it. Brought it up to my doctor the last appointment I had because I'm like, hey man, where I already have kind of concerns with heart issues. Oh man, and they hurt to stand on. But and I'm on this heart medication. Like, should I worry about that? I said, I mean, it really sometimes, man, they get really thick, and you can push on it and it just stays like that. And by the way, I just figured out why sometimes my phone stops recording. I guess if you hit the volume button on accident, it'll stop. Mystery solved. But anyway, I'm at Lowe's right now. I'm not to complain about possible health problems that I'm probably just in my head about, or complain about how bummed I am about that yesterday. If it wasn't so personal to me, right? If I was just coming on here and just speculating, didn't even have a son, didn't even have a family member that was autistic, never had a family member that had to take a mandatory you-know-what, I ain't even gonna say the word anymore, then I could see them be like, nah, we're not gonna let this dude run his mouth. And I even prefaced it with, look, I'm not trying to give any false information, any false hope to anybody. I'm just an idiot, whatever. I'm just an idiot talking. But here's my experience with my son. And it just feels, man, I can't explain to you how it feels to just, within minutes of uploading, especially the fact that I needed to go to bed. I was thoroughly exhausted. And the last thing I wanted to do was stay up until 11:30, taking a video that I've already spent all this time editing and uploading to re-edit, try to catch every time I said that word, and put it back up. And it was more out of defiance at that point, but also not wanting to end the streak either. Yeah, it's funny, I asked my wife the other day, I said, what do you think the odds of me not making it to 100 videos are? She was like, oh no, not even a possibility. I know you, and if you say you're going to do something, you're going to do it. So, and that felt good, like how quick she was to say that. But I had to come here earlier to Lowe's for work, and I seen something, and I wanted to go ahead and get it then, but I always try to separate work from personal, so I decided against it. But made it a point to come back on my way home from work. I think my little boy would love this, dude. I had one when I was little. I don't know if they're like the same or not, where you had to like put new paper on it. I like how they made it look like kind of retro, like it looks like it's old. God knows what happened to the one that I had, but I seen that and I couldn't stop thinking about how much I think my son would love it and how much fun he would have with it. So I wanted to come back and get it. Also, check out what's right beside it. I think you know who you are in my chat that was telling me about this the other day. It's a holder for a phone, but with like little suction cups on it. And just so happens I forgot mine again today. I think subconsciously, like I said, I was just putting a nail in it. Like, I'm not going to record today. I'm not going to do this. And I went all day not recording. It's literally 6:15 right now. And this is the first time I've even picked this up and even kind of felt like it, man. I can't tell you how much that bummed me out last night. And her too. She was pretty upset about it. I came upstairs and told her, I was like, man, you're not going to believe this. I said, they took my video down. She's like, who? You know, and that was another thing about changing up what I was doing on YouTube, is because those crybaby sissy boys that, you know, they go back and forth with you until they realize they're cornered and you know, you got them, so to speak. And they do that dirty playing, strike you shit, you know. And I didn't think I'd ever have to deal with that again, because I'm literally doing just pure wholesome family. I'm literally just turning this camera on and telling you guys about me, my life, and my family. That's all I'm doing. So never in a million years did I think that I would have to get that weird notification of, oh, well, hey, just so you know, that video that you worked on all day doesn't exist anymore. Invalid barcode was scanned. Sweet. We're off to a good start. So how do you scan a valid one? Oh, but it also already, you know, rung it up somehow, so whatever sense that makes. We'll get out. We'll dust off the old Pistol Pete skills and get the light bright with it. Huh. You see how fast that was? I'm telling you, man, I can draw with the best of them. Alright, light bright. Skip. You have only scanned 2 items. Yeah, no shit. I'm telling you, man. And part of it comes with just being old too, but also I might be getting old, but that's why I try to get my boys to understand all the time. Like, yeah, Dad's getting old, but I'm still hip enough. Like, you know, what kind of old dude do you hear about? No, I don't want to round up. Complaining that their YouTube video and number 35 of their 100 streak got taken down. Not a lot of old guys talk about that, you know, for real. Thank you. Anyway, light bright acquired. But yeah, the last time I felt that bummed about this whole thing and felt like I ain't gonna do it anymore is that time TikTok stopped me dead in my tracks of a viral video. You know, and I don't know about you guys, but if you've ever, I gotta switch arms. My arm's killing me. Any of you guys out there that's ever been interested in this, you see all these stories that people tell, and it's usually the story, if a good interviewer that sits down with somebody that has went viral multiple times, they'll ask them, they'll say, what did it feel like that first video that took off? You know, just describe that feeling. Do you remember it? Do you remember how it felt or what you were doing? And they're always like, bruh, you know, yeah, man, I just remember looking, or I uploaded it at this time, look back at my phone, I'm like, wait a minute, there's this many views, oh man. You know, you hear those stories, and when I was actually experiencing that day, off this parody song I wrote, but I decided to put it on TikTok first, and, you know, I uploaded this thing, got in the shower, got out, and it's like 30,000 views, which I had never got 30,000 views on anything. And I'm like, is this right? And I refreshed it, and it was like 40,000, refreshed it 50,000. And I was like, I was like, this is the one, dude. Oh, and it felt great, you know. And it was funny video. It was well polished, edited video. I made sure all my links were there so they can find me elsewhere, because that was the only thing about it. I remember thinking, like, this isn't even where I want to go viral at. I want to go viral on YouTube. But let's get this phone case out. I'm sick of holding this thing. But anyway, I would go on to refresh it a few more times, and about the third time I refreshed it at about 70,000 views, I think it was, or 60, something like that. I refreshed it, and it went bye-bye. And I'm like, where's my video at? And I looked, and they're like, oh, it violates guidelines. And I didn't upload for a while after that. I was like, you know what? Based on my personality, I'm always going to offend somebody. So I may as well just give this thing up now then. Sorry guys, I know that's not the best angle. But for a minute I was starting to wonder if this thing was going to work at all. I do want to try the suction cup thing though, like on the side of the truck, and do a burnout with it to see if you can get like a good angle of my tire. I think that would be kind of cool. I'll throw it and drive really hard. That's got to be good on the drivetrain, huh? But I don't know how that would work. It's kind of interesting though. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very interested in trying that. Hang on, stand by. Oh yeah. Hang on, let me lock the diff real quick. Worth it. Anyway, yeah. What I'm trying to say is I got my son a light brake. Ugh. Telemarketers, man. I tell you what though, I've never gotten comfortable with that diff locking and unlocking thing. Most of the time it just spins both tires and I don't even have to worry about it. But of course, the one time I suction cup a camera to the bed of my truck, that'd be the one time it doesn't do it. But yeah, it's like I don't even know. I haven't even looked into the book or the mechanism of how that diff lock works, but I would assume there's some sort of electromagnetic something in there, some sort of solenoid that probably drags a pin over that locks something, and I don't know. There's been a few times that I locked it and then I hit the unlock, but it didn't disengage just yet, and I go to turn a corner and it like pops and makes all this terrible sounds. But as soon as I can afford it, I got to get new tires all the way around anyway. The front tires are even worse than the back tires, and so the day that I can afford that, I'm really going to have some fun. And this suction cup thing will come in handy because I obviously want to capture it. Anyway, I don't know what this video, I don't know where it's going to go. Maybe I can get him to play with it. No, I don't want him to have to play with the light bright on camera for the first time. I just want to see what he does with it. I tell you what I will do. I'll put up some pictures in the next video if he makes something with it, but I don't know if you gotta buy the papers. Remember back in the day, you had to put like a paper on it, and once you poked all the things through the paper that you wanted to poke, and I remember the smell of that light bulb inside that plastic. It was like a hot smell, like a hot plastic smell. I'm sure these are probably all LED or something, but that and those Easy Bake Ovens, man. Those toy companies back then, they were just fire starters, bro, for real. Anyway, I gotta stop at Walmart and get a couple last minute groceries too. That's probably another reason I'm bummed out today is I got paid today, but remember when paydays were cool? You remember that? You remember that? You remember the skating rink and you put your hand up on my hip when you dip, I dip, and then we all dip. Remember all that stuff that was cool? Paydays was one of them, and now it's not, man. I had to pay my electric bill today, which was $962, and it's like, cool. And I just didn't want to pay it, but I don't know, maybe that's part of the mood that I'm in, but it definitely starts from the censorship last night, and it meets the exhaustion that I'm currently having right now, and I forgot my cleater shades. That kind of hides some of the sunken in eyes from being completely worn out. But anyway, man, when I get back home, if there's something interesting, I'll pop it in there, and I'll definitely close the video out, obviously, and tell you guys what the plan is for all these videos and what we're going to do with the money for the AdSense that we make from these money. You know, I'm definitely going to tell you what we're going to do with this one. These things do all kinds of there's different light settings on them nowadays that make a flash or be all solid. I'm not sure. I'm sure the flash goes with the stencil patterns that they give you. But the little guy that... Do you want to play with your light bright after your bath? Yes or no? Do you want to play with your new toy after your bath time? All right. Love you, buddy. Anyway. I don't get as many comments as I would think I would about this on the floor here. We used to try to pick it up, fold it up, put it in the closet, and man, the fits and fights. We're like, all right, well, I guess it doesn't really hurt anything to leave it out. So listen, I've been a fan enough of YouTubers and watched a lot of YouTube videos just like this where you get to that point in the video where you're like, man, he's not going to show it. He's not going to show it. Man, how am I going to know? Oh my God, he's definitely just going to just gloss right over that detail. And then it would ruin my whole day. And you're screaming at the phone like, come on, dude. How you going to leave us hanging on that? But luckily for you guys, I've been on that side my entire life. Still pretty much am on that side. And the only reason I'm even kind of on the other side is because all you beautiful people out there that choose to watch me every single day that I upload something. And it's you guys are the reason that I didn't give up today. Generally, if history repeats itself, I'll be in a much better mood tomorrow and right back. I just need a good night's rest, man. Like I said, it's been a rough day. But what I'm getting at is I'm not going to gloss over it. I'm going to show you guys the motherfucking patterns, all right? I know, right? I'd have been sitting on that side going, man, he even going to show us what the patterns were? Or if they still had those papers like they used to back in the day. Oh, I see. So it has little Y's for yellow, B's for blue, P for pink. So I guess if you were lay this paper over it and pop it through the paper, I guess. It looks like a set of headphones with like a music note. Oh, and I bet that flashing goes along with that. That's pretty cool. That'd be something fun for me to do with him while we're waiting on dinner. Oh, how ironic is this? I was just talking about those skates earlier and the skating rink and stuff like that. That's weird. But yeah, an old skate. That might be the one that I do with him. He was very excited when I showed him the box. I was like, do you want me to open it? He was like, yes. That's the thing that'll get him to talk and at least say one word, is when you get him hyped up about something. And I know you guys are thinking, what's the celebration? To get, a kid a toy. It's Thursday. Thought I'd come out back here and sit for a minute before he gets out of the bath and I play a little bit of light bright with him. But I'm gonna have to hit the hay early, man, and I definitely need to start working on editing this video. I'm still filming day of, in case you guys were wondering, but we'll keep it going. I meant to tell you, since we're all so deeply invested in this pickup truck and the paying off of that pickup truck. I actually cleaned it last night. I was really hoping those bags would trigger that light. I guess that's enough lighting. Yeah, I cleaned it last night, and I'll throw some pictures. I'll overlay the pictures right here. Man, that thing cleans up good, man, and it gets you that little extra. That's the thing too, is you gotta, I was talking yesterday about how you gotta keep that fire in you about your relationship and about your job, or maybe that was the day before. They're all kind of running in together, but you do, right? You all know how you felt that first time you got that nicer, nicest vehicle you ever owned, nicer, kind of whatever it was, truck, car, and it was like, man, you wanted it so bad, and you finally got it, and maybe you did all the paperwork on it Friday late, and you usually sleep in on Saturdays, but that Saturday you were up bright and early going and just cleaning it and looking at it and just messing with it. You got to keep that same fire. You almost feel sorry for some of those people who lose that, right? Who are so, well, that sounds crazy, saying that you feel sorry for somebody that's wealthy. But I guarantee that's the missing aspect in those people's lives that are wealthy, that can just get anything they want. You lose that excitement. And then where do you get excitement from? Where do you get that true joy from? Because the true joy is, like I said, when you get that nicest vehicle you ever got, or you're dating that person, you close the deal with that person that you were like, oh my God, I'm so lucky to be with this person. I'm so excited. Wake up early in the morning and look over at her or him, whatever, if you're a woman, and be like, man, this is fantastic. That sort of thing. Or when you landed that good job and you were just, you came in an hour early, like you showed up a half hour, 45 minutes early, like just so excited to get that job. And then somewhere along the way, the day-to-day stuff, you could lose sight of that. It could, and I've done that. Like, I was so excited when I got that truck. I was like, I can't even believe I own this thing. It's the nicest vehicle I've ever owned in my life. And that Saturday morning after I got it, I was down there cleaning it up. Like, every inch of it was perfectly, immaculately clean. And then, that kind of faded off a little bit, and it got to where it was just, whatever. It's just this thing that gets me to work and back every day, and it was full of dirt or whatever. And then, like I said, the other day I was having that thought in my head of, this job sucks, man. Why am I crawling out of this house? And today climbing up down ladders and, all that stuff. But you got to stop to think for a minute and remember how much you appreciate it and what it would, I tell you what, forget that. Not remember how much you appreciate it, but remember what it would be like if you had lost it tomorrow. Put it that way, right? I get in one of those old beater cars of mine and move them around. Or the last time I took that Dodge Caliber and drove it over to the shop to park it, and it was hot out and the AC didn't work and it's loud and everything's hard, and you hit a bump, you're like, daggone. I forgot that bumps are hard in the road. But anyway, all I'm saying is, I don't know what it is in me that just keeps wanting to remind myself to remember those things, and wants me to say that to you guys in case you guys are struggling with remembering those things. It's so easy to get complacent. It's so easy to be like, well, yeah, whatever, and just take all this stuff for granted. And I've talked to some guys, man, especially in the rooms, when I was in the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous. That's kind of how it started. They got complacent, and maybe they got too comfortable with the relationship or with their employer or whatever. And it starts there, and then you lose one or two or both of those things. And then before you know it, you pick back up and start using again. And then it's a whole cluster of problems, right? Anyway, yeah. Speaking of that truck, I was told I didn't have enough enthusiasm yesterday. So I tell you what we're going to do with that truck today, baby. That truck right there, that shiny truck that I'm looking at, I just showed you a picture of. That truck right there. We are day 36 right now, and 36 means 36 days in a row of constant vlogs that we're going to use the assets for to pay that truck off, baby. Whoa!
I love you guys.